Good evening and welcome to this Coffeyville City Commission meeting for Tuesday, February 28th. Tonight's invocation will be by Pastor Nicole Schwartz-Eck of the First Methodist Church. If you please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join with me in prayer or observe a moment of silence. Holy and gracious God, as we gather here and set out to do the business of the city of Coffeyville, we want to take the time to give you thanks. We give you thanks for leaders throughout our community who have vision for the future, who care for members of our community, who keep us safe, who keep us well, who teach and guide our residents, young and old, and who take pride in our community, both in what it has been and what it can be. God, we gather today. We ask that you give us wisdom in our thoughts, words, and actions. Give us hope for the future and inspire us as we move forward. God, show us the needs of our community as well as the ways that we, the leaders in this room, and every member of the community can be part of meeting those needs. Guide us tonight and always, that we might be and follow your will, be beacons of your hope, that in our community of Coffeyville, we might grow in unity, strength, and knowledge of you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Nicole. Let's move to the consent agenda. First item on there is City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, February 14, 2017. 2017 appropriation ordinance number AO-17-04 in the amount of $5,447,885.06. And ordinance number S-17-01, second reading of an ordinance to vacate certain right-of-way within the City of Coffeyville portion of Laurel Street. Do we have any questions or amendments to these agenda items?
No. I'd make a move to approve the consent item as presented.
Second.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Martin.
Do you want me to?
Thought we were moving to that back.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Martin to approve the consent agenda as presented. Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye. That was much better. I like that.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to regular agenda items, public hearing of special presentations and proclamations. First item is public hearing of the CDBG closeout for 9th Street road improvements. Public Works Director Chuck Shively will make comments and introduce Grant Administrator Susan Gilmore, Southeast Kansas Regional Planning.
Mayor and Commissioners, as you know, the recent improvements on 9th Street were partially funded by 2 CDBG grants from the Kansas Department of Commerce. Our administrator for those grants is Susan Gilmore from the Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission. She's here this evening to answer any questions you may have. One of the requirements for closing out the grants is to hold a public hearing for each of the grants to solicit public comment or input into the grants. So I recommend you open the public hearings after you have any questions you may have answered.
Commissioners have any questions?
I mean, everything's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Road looks good.
Thanks.
I'll open it to public hearing. No questions? I'll close the public hearing. Item number 2, public hearing, CDBG closeout for 9th Street Sidewalk Project. Susan Gilmore, Southeast Kansas Regional Planning, will make comments.
Actually, I'm going to make the comments
Okay.
unless you have questions, but this is just the same thing on the second grant.
Okay. Questions?
No.
I'll open it to public hearing.
Katie Hill, 1108 West 9th Street. So as somebody who actually lives on 9th Street, both of the improvements, both the street and sidewalk, have been wonderful. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Nope.
Seeing none, I'll close the hearing. Item number 3, presentation by Southeast Kansas Community Action Partnership, SEK, CAP. Dick Horton will make presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am Dick Horton. I'm a community planner. I'm employed by the Southeast Kansas Community Action Program. We know that as elected officials that you work every day, always trying to make improvements for this community. And we also know in our, we have a 12-county service area at CCAP, and representing that area, we know there's a lot of other groups too out trying to do the same thing. Our elected officials in Topeka, our elected officials in Washington, a lot of folks involved with trying to make things better. The reason I'm here tonight is that what we have learned from a lot of groups just like yours is that it's easier to present your case to the citizens and to those that you're seeking help from if you have data to use. And to that extent, then, that's the reason why I'm here tonight, is that at CCAP, we have created a regional assessment by county. And in that assessment, we have a lot of data that we have taken from all of the reliable sources and from input from groups just like yours, and as often as we can from citizens at large. Our regional assessment requires us then to reach out, just like the reason I'm here tonight, is to ask your feedback about the issues that have surfaced in the past to see if those are still current, and or then, being a real assessment, is can we add some new issues to the list? So then I'd like to just show you an infographic
Okay.
of the issues that have surfaced in the past, and then I've got a rating sheet here too that probably needs to be on the microphone here. So what I've distributed there are 2 documents. One is just an infographic that gives you just a brief blurb about 6 of the key issues that have surfaced in the past, and then that's accompanied by a rating sheet with those same 6 issues on it, and I'd like for you to rate those from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest or the most severe, if you will, issue, and then not to assume that those are the only 6 issues. There are some spaces at the bottom where you could add 1 or 2 or 3 or more, give you more paper, and then we will take that data back with us. We will compile it into our new regional and community assessment report just to make sure it's current. We meet where I live in another community not too far from here on Fridays with our elected officials from Topeka, and they seek from us each Friday validation of what our issues are, and then the strength of those issues. Which one is the highest priority? You know, you can't do everything all of the time, but you want to pick out the highest rated priorities. And they ask for that. They actually almost beg for that. They want to go back to their office, in this case at Topeka, and feel like they're truly representing those of us who live here in their district. That's really my presentation, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm always happy to respond to any questions, but if you would, please rate those issues or add to it, and I'll take those back with me, and we'll be compiling those at the 1st of April.
Okay.
And turning out our new updated report, and of course, we'll get that over to you immediately.
So Dick, you need these tonight? You want them now, tonight?
I can
we
do
scan them
either.
and email them to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, very flexible. I can take them tonight, I could come back and pick them up, or you can scan them and email them to me like you suggested, Commissioner.
If you'd like to scan them and just send them to me, I'll collect them and then send them as
That'd be
one
good.
PDF to you.
Right. We're user-friendly, so however works best for you all is great with us. We just appreciate you giving us a response.
Are you staying for the whole meeting?
No, sir.
All right,
I've got a little driving to do tonight,
I understand.
and
I understand. Okay.
but I spent 23 years at City Hall, so I've been to several thousand meetings like this, and I always knew when I went to the meeting that there was no finish time for me. I stayed till it was over if need be, so that's what I'm used to, but I think for tonight, I wasn't planning on that, but I'd be
All right.
glad to
I
if
was
need
just
be.
asking.
Okay,
You ain't gotta stay.
very good. Thank you to all for giving me
you.
this opportunity.
Thank
Thank you.
Safe travels, Mr. Horton.
So moving on to old business, ordinance number S-17-02, second reading of an ordinance to approve the annual renewal of the 10-year property tax exempt incentive for four-state maintenance. Any questions? I don't think. We have a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Castler, seconded by Commissioner Martin.
Commissioner Martin? Commissioner Castler?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
No.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye. Moving on to new business, discuss an action to appoint one person to Park Advisory Board, serve until January 1st, 2021. We have two applicants, Craig Brookover and Robert Kriebel.
Mayor, I don't see Craig Brookover. I know Bob Kriebel's here.
Yep, I see Bob. So if we want to have Bob come up to the podium and tell us a little bit about why he wants to be part of the Park Advisory Board.
This is tough. I just see you guys have an opening, you need some help, and I'd be willing to do that if you see fit. I've been a resident of Coffeyville, Kansas for 63 years. I've been retired from funk manufacturing for it'll be 8 in November, and I have plenty of time, and if you'd like me to serve, I will.
All right.
What makes you the most qualified, do you think, to be able to be on this?
Well, I've been a resident here in Coffeyville all my life. When I worked for John Deere Funk Manufacturing, I was on the picnic committee, and anytime they needed to plan something, I was on that committee. So I had a little bit of experience on trying to make people happy.
Trying. Good word.
Key there.
Is there any,
Any other questions?
do I
from
need to ask
commissioners?
any?
I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Kriebel to Park Advisory Board.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castler and seconded by Mayor Bauer to appoint Robert Kriebel to a 4-year term on the Park Advisory Board, serving to January 1, 2021. Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Martin?
Aye.
Commissioner Castler?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Kriebel?
Congratulations, Mr. Kriebel.
Do I have to start calling you Robert now?
Whatever.
All right.
Robert, Bob,
That's all right.
whoever.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 2, discuss an action to appoint one person to Coffeyville Recreation Commission, serving till March 10th, 2021. We have one applicant, Tasha Williams. Tasha, would you please come to the podium and tell us why you want to be on the Coffeyville Recreation Commission?
Guys, I've been on the Coffeyville Recreation Board for the last 4 years, and it's been a privilege of mine to be on this board. As you guys seen in my application, I've been able to be part of many projects here in Coffeyville. And one of the biggest projects that I pushed for was for our batting cages. We get kids from all over, so it's a huge asset. Coffeyville Rec Committee, we have the privilege of being able to serve so many kids and to do so many different things. I'm also a nurse, so I love taking care of people and being in the public eye, and kids is just part of it. The only thing that I forgot to mention on my application was, I've also been privileged to, we have raised our youth scholarship fund in the last 4 years by about $15,000. So, and we've been able to lower the mill levy, by 1% with the rec board. So it's just a privilege, and there's some other projects, some very large projects coming with the rec board, and I want to be part of that. I want to be part of where our future's going with our kids.
Good. Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
I have no questions.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve Tasha Williams for the Coffeyville Recreation Commission Board.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castler and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to appoint Tasha Williams to a 4-year term on the Recreation Commission serving to March 10th, 2021. Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Tasha. Okay. Moving on to resolution number R-17-12, a resolution to execute a license agreement with Clean Harbors for soil and groundwater testing. City Attorney Paul Kreitz will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, as indicated in my staff report to you all, Clean Harbors has requested permission to enter upon some locations, property owned by the city, to install up to 4 monitoring wells to evaluate local groundwater conditions as required by the EPA. The wells will be sampled approximately 1 time per year as part of their facility groundwater monitoring program that is EPA mandated. A map showing the approximate location of the wells is included in your agenda packet. The final locations are subject to the city's approval. There are similar monitoring wells on city-owned property. There've never been any issues with them. These approximate locations have been shared with city staff and have been approved by them. We recommend approval of this license agreement.
Questions from the commission?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution R-17-12.
Second.
I think all 3 of you seconded.
Didn't see your hand.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Castler to approve resolution number R-17-12 for adoption. Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Moving to resolution R-17-13, a resolution to execute a loan extension letter with Browns Riverside Homes Addition 2. Paul Kreitz, City Attorney Paul Kreitz will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, this has to do with the financing of the 18 houses that are just south of the Brown Mansion. Back in October of 2014, the City Commission at that time approved a development loan in favor of the developer for $200,000 to build 18 houses, subject to certain conditions. We did a term sheet that's in your agenda packet that was executed in April of 2015. It's a $200,000 loan at 3%. The loan was to be closed, according to that term sheet, by December 31st of 2016. According to the principal, they ran into some construction delays, mostly having to do with with rain in 2015, and that pushed their timeline back. So they are requesting that a formal extension of the deadline to close from December 31st to May 31st of this year. As I mentioned in my staff report, the city will be well positioned once this loan is made. We'll have a first mortgage on the 18 houses, which is roughly $11,111 per house. As houses are sold, a proportionate share of the mortgage would be repaid, although it's not envisioned that the houses will be sold until the program ends, and I think that's a 15-year period, as I recall. The borrower is also paying all costs associated with the financing. So we're going through a closing agent. If you approve this extension, I would expect the loan to be closed sometime in April.
Questions from the commissioners?
Nope, I'm good.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-17-13 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Resolution number R-17-14, a resolution to execute a construction contract with Collins and Herman for repairs to the Overlook Bridge.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the Overlook Bridge where we had a citizen accidentally run into the guardrail, ripped off the east half of the guardrail on the bridge. So this is to replace that. It also replaces the west side. This is the same project that we brought to you back in, I believe it was October. We ran into some bonding issues with the first contractor, so we ended up having to rebid it. This new contract, there were some slight modifications to the bridge design, and we actually reduced the cost by a little bit to $122,730.
Does the bridge, the traveling surface, is it wide at all? Or
No,
the same?
it's the same. It'll be the same.
Not narrower?
Hmm.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution R-17-14.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Castler to approve resolution number R-17-14 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution R-17-15, a resolution to approve a small business loan application for Harold Mann Retail Center Development. Assistant City Manager Tricia Purdon will make comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Once again, we have a small business that has taken the initiative to bring new retail to the community of Coffeyville. So I'm excited to present this small business development loan for Harold Mann. He is developing a retail facility, and I'm sure you've probably noticed construction going on at 11th and Washita Street. That is the former Five State Auto building. He has renovated that building and expanded that building to allow for space for a new restaurant, which will officially be Simple Simon's Pizza. It'll be a sit-down and dine-in and carry-out restaurant, pizza restaurant. It also allows for the expansion of Studio Blue, which is a hair salon here in town. They would be adding potentially one new job, and then allows for just renovated and expanded facilities for his State Farm office, as well as continues occupancy for Cowboy Cleaners, and I think it's Otter Creek is in there also right now. Simple Simon's will create 17 new jobs approximately. So at least 2 of those will be management level positions, and the rest would be your typical wait staff, cooks, things like that would work there. So we will have 4 new commercial businesses in Coffeyville due to this development. They definitely fit all the requirements for the small business loan program. The best part of this proposal is that Harold Mann has really taken the initiative and done this on his own. He did almost all of this work without approaching the city until finally he came down to the end and realized we need a little bit of gap financing, which is what this program really is intended to be, is to help companies get that final step to get the project done, to secure a lease, to secure a business, to create those jobs. So this really is the ideal use of the program that the commission established in 2014. Staff has completed a full credit and financials check on the loan application with Mr. Harold Mann. Unlike other loans the city's issued before, it will create several jobs. So in the past, we've done some other small business loans, and they've created like 1 to 5 jobs, whereas this one will have 17. So that's an important thing to point out. In addition, it fills a large vacant facility that we've had in the center of our major commercial district. So it alleviates potential future blight and really provides a cohesive shopping experience down 11th Street. The best part, I think, personally, is that Harold did the recruitment for his tenants on his own. Staff has worked diligently to recruit restaurants and to recruit shopping facilities here to town. And Harold really took the initiative, and we worked together over this past year to identify different restaurants, which is what he wanted in that facility, to go in here. And he found Simple Simons, and he worked to secure this lease. So it's a company that's really taken his own initiative and has really led the way in creating new businesses in our town. So with that, I would leave it open for questions. Mr. Mann is here if you would like to ask him any questions, and I'm prepared to answer any as well.
Any questions?
I'd like to go last.
I don't have anything, so you can go first.
Go first, man. You're the only one.
Okay. Well, I'm all for this deal, okay? I think, there's no doubt that it's a good investment, get our money back, et cetera. One thing that I know has happened to me as a commissioner is sometimes the banks get a little bit, as we're being a competition for them. Harold, would you like to address that, or it's really not an issue, but I know I'm gonna hear about it.
I would say also, I've been working with Phil Neely with Community National Bank for several months, I think March when we started talking, and we've been working cooperatively with the bank on this project.
Okay, well, that's probably all I need to hear.
Okay, yeah, I was on the phone with Phil right before commission, just making sure that everything was good, first and second mortgage were ready, so we're good to go on
This is
that.
the second time. A few years ago, you tried to do this, didn't you? I thought it was you who's trying to do
He
area.
did something, but a different deal.
Huh?
He took the investment to demolish some homes along 11th Street. He was initially going to build a new structure there, but instead found that the square footage price, especially for the retailers he was recruiting, really fit better in an existing structure that he could renovate.
And I think you did good by saving an empty building.
I agree.
We look forward
Much,
to this.
much improved.
You wanted to say?
I'd like to say a few words there. Mayor, Commissioners, and the city team, I appreciate your consideration. I want to say a big thank you to this young lady right here. She's been tremendous help. You got a real asset there. I'm all for Coffeyville. I've been here forever. I used to be the city recreation director, 79 to 85. So anyway, and then I got into the State Farm business. So any help that you can give me, I appreciate it. I've got about $100 grand tied into the building already, my own money. And so, yeah, I need the help right now. So, and we're gonna open up, Simple Simon's supposed to open up April the 1st. I hope we can get that done. We're trying really hard. Studio Blue will open up next week. My office is gonna open up May the 1st. And I'm gonna hire at least 2 more people in the next 7 years, so I don't have to be there so much. Just to keep that a secret. So,
Who owned the Pizza Hut?
Who
owns the Pizza Hut? Yes.
Okay, yeah, and I can announce that because he said I could.
Okay.
Okay, it's Dean Crawford. He also owns a business here in town. He owns a body shop, Coffeyville Collision.
Yep.
And he's always dabbled in the restaurant business. And so we had a couple of interested restaurants that recruited Simple Simon's and Billy Sims Barbecue. And Simple Simon's beat them to the punch. So, so we're excited about that.
Good.
It'd be good to have another.
Harold, we appreciate what you're doing for the city. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
No?
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Castler. Martin.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castler and seconded by Commissioner Martin to approve resolution number R-17-15 for adoption. Commissioner Castler.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Resolution number R-17-16, a resolution to set a public hearing for Tuesday, March 28th at 6:30 PM for the vacation of a portion of the alley at 11th and Hall. City Clerk Cindy Price will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, we did have a petition that was submitted to the city from the engineers for Dollar General to vacate a portion of the alley at Hall and 11th. And in order to proceed with any vacation, we have to set a public hearing. and then that will be published in the paper. There's 20 days wait time between the time it's published and the time of the public hearing. So the first meeting that we'd be able to hold the public hearing would be March 28th. So this is just simply a resolution to
Okay.
set the public hearing.
Do we have any questions? No. We have a motion? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Martin to approve resolution number R-17-16 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor?
Do I need to abstain on this one?
No.
Yes.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Martin?
Aye.
Commissioner Kessler?
Aye.
Move on to the city manager's report.
Mayor and Commissioners, a few things we got going on. Today kicks off the Hometown Showdown. That's the league-sponsored photo contest. And as you'll remember, last year we ended up second place, so we're shooting for first place this year, obviously. But it is a little bit somewhat confusing as to how you vote for the picture. You have to go to the League of Municipalities Facebook page and like the picture on their page. So I know that Cindy has done an excellent job of explaining that on our Facebook page, and she's included a link to it.
Yep.
Last year, we think we confused people by actually putting the picture on our Facebook page, and people would like it thinking they were voting for it. So you won't see the picture on our Facebook page, but if you just follow the story, click the link, it'll take you right to it. It's a very colorful picture of the rodeo, and we're very proud of it. So, and as at the start of the meeting, we had 289 likes, I believe. Dodge City's our first round opponent, and we've about tripled them in votes so far. So
Is this an-
Go ahead.
All right. Is this another photo by Cindy?
it is, yes.
Photo by Cindy.
I'm
It's
glad
a good picture.
I'm glad I don't have to pay her by the number of photos she takes.
You need to be sure that you go like it and then share it.
Share it. So
Yep.
That's
Okay.
important.
And can you vote more than
No.
once? Just one
Once
time
per round.
Per round, okay.
Once per Facebook account, so.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
if
you can encourage
So
your,
you're gonna set up a couple, no.
Well, I'm just saying, if you have a business page, or if you have,
Right.
you know, something like that, or multiple pages within your family,
Yep.
obviously, so.
It's a week-long thing, right? Each contest is
Yes,
a week long?
this round starts today, will end next Monday, and then round two, and it, would look like some possible stiff competition from the small city of Hoxie next in round two, if we were to move along, so.
Who was it?
Hoxie.
Hoxie?
Where's that?
Hoxie's a small town in, western Kansas, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we have set a date for the ribbon cutting and open house for the new generation. It will be Thursday, March 30th. The ribbon cutting will be at 11 a.m. and then tours will be given of the facility throughout the day. We're still looking at some things because we anticipate that we'll be generating that day as well. So, but you will be able to, you know, throughout the day get in and take a look at the facility and get some guided tours of what's going on there.
What time will that end?
As far as the tours?
Yeah, 'cause like before, a lot of people don't get off till 3:30,
Exactly,
4
and
o'clock.
that was part of our decision, to be able to get the dignitaries, for lack of a better word, from GRDA and Wardzilla and just state reps and stuff. That's why we chose the actual ribbon cutting at 11, but the open house itself will continue throughout the day. And obviously, we're there 24 hours, so we'll make arrangements for people to get in there anytime to take a tour if they're interested in coming seeing the facility. We have quite a few street projects that are ongoing and a couple that have just finished. The intersection of 2nd and Grand is completed and is now open. Wilshire project, the curb and gutter is in, the concrete work is done. they're cleaning up, and the only thing left to do is put the asphalt in, and we anticipate that to be about the second full week of March. If weather holds, it sounds like the asphalt plant will fire up this weekend, and should be first on the list. So that project's very close to wrapping up. We have an intersection project going at 14th and Atlantic. We'll be starting. The city crews will begin by replacing the water lines across there. And then when that one's completed, we'll be moving to 8th and Washita. And we will make plenty of announcement ahead of time, because there will be closed down initially to replace the water lines across there. But, 8th Street is heavily traveled, and we understand that. But like I said, we'll give people plenty of forewarning as to when that's going to close down, and we'll work to get that turned around as quickly as possible. I will also mention, for what it's worth, the traffic signal, the flashing yellow light will go away. We'll have stop signs on north and south, and east-west traffic will just be a flow-through, and we'll no longer have the flashing light there. A couple things I need to mention regarding utilities. March is a sign-up month for if you want to do average monthly bill paying, and there is a form for that on our city website. You can go there and sign up for that. Also, you'll start noticing a little bit of a change in our utility bill. The bills will now reflect the dates that the meters were actually read. Before, they reflected, we called it the book date, the book that section of meters was on, had an anticipated reading window. And that's what you used to see on your bill. If it said it read on, the service date was was between February and March, but now it will actually reflect the day your meter was read. And so we hope that will eliminate some confusion. It had created some confusion internally and on our computer systems, and so we're trying to clean that up and make it a little bit more user friendly. People have a better understanding of the amount of days that were on their bill. Okay. And that change is taking place right now. Housing Task Force, a couple of them we've met a week ago. Internally here for the city's housing assessment tool, we had, I think, about a baker's dozen volunteers that came and were wanting to participate and be active in this committee and help us get some of this work accomplished. Some of the probably the biggest manpower required is a physical windshield survey of every property in town. So those volunteers have split the city up into sections and volunteered to go property to property and give us an assessment of each of those, and that'll be important as we move forward with grant funding and other things like that for workforce housing, housing rehab, things like that. Also at the same time, we had a countywide housing task force that was a product of our city-county collaboration meetings, and we met for the first time last week. We had representatives from Coffeyville, Caney, Cherryvale, also the Housing Authority there in Independence was represented, and we're starting to, one of the first things we'll be doing is sharing our information for our housing assessment tools to help Cherryvale, to help Caney, because they lack the resources, quite frankly, the manpower to do some of this work. So we'll be able to share some of the commonalities, the surveys, those things like that. We help them work through that, and then our intention is that when we present for housing projects, that we could do so possibly as a collaborative effort county-wide. We think that will give us a better case. The state is looking for those types of collaborations, so we think it'll weigh more when we're going to apply for grants. Couple other things going on. Branding, I know there was some talk about it at the last meeting. We've had Professor Thomas very busy the last few days, and including even up to today. I do have some examples that be ready to share internally with you, and I've asked him for the plan to bring it out, roll it out to the public as far as the options and how we select it. I guess we're been pretty picky, quite honestly, so that has helped extend the time frame a little bit. But I think we're all pretty close to wrapping it up, and I will have that. It's better to share it with email because they're large files, and I'll be able to get that to you. A couple things going on this week. Tomorrow night, the Montgomery County Action Council has a town hall meeting. It's going to be 6:30 at the Oak Room at the college.
Who's it? Montgomery County Action
Montgomery
Council?
Yeah, the Action Council is hosting a town hall meeting. They've been going to the different towns in Montgomery County.
I guess I missed that one. When is it?
It's tomorrow night at 6:30 at the Oak Room. Also, this Saturday, March 4th, the Chamber is sponsoring a legislative coffee, and it will be from 9 to 10:30 at Sunflower Soda Fountain. And the last I knew, all 4 of our local legislators were committed to being there. Senator Goddard, Representative Kelly, Blex, and Prell all anticipate being there. So come and ask your questions and get an update of what's going on. You know, we're about midterm, close to midterm of this legislative session.
And the public's welcome to that too.
Absolutely, it is a public meeting, yes. Of course, you know, they're on break, so they've all come back home and they're going around doing their coffee talks. So, and then just finally, I want to mention the statewide tornado drill that is coming up. It'll be Tuesday, March 7th. It'll be 10 a.m. and they'll be alerting through Nixles and through iPods, so everybody's cell phone will be blowing up that morning as well. Yeah, we'll be testing our sirens as well, weather permitting. And just a reminder to everyone, that's an opportunity to review your emergency or disaster plan. You know, where are you going in case of a tornado and those types of things. So it'd be a good opportunity for that. I would take any questions that you might have.
I got a couple of small things.
Sure.
I don't think it's a secret because I found out about it through word of mouth. You know anything about this new donut shack that's opening up? I get asked about it every day.
Well, I do. I believe, in fact, I'll just ask Tricia to speak. She was going to kind of give you a few economic development updates during staff reports, but now is as good a time as any. We'll answer your question about that as well.
We have a few new stores opening in Coffeyville, including Donut Palace. We have received Donut Palace.
Not even the name I heard. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
It will be located at 11th and Walnut Street, so that vacant lot just across the street from the main entrance to the college. So great location for a donut shop. We also are excited to announce Dollar Tree will be opening in Coffeyville. It will be opening in the Coffeyville Plaza. Probably May is when it'll open, but most likely June, depending on how construction goes. A lot of people have probably been driving by and seeing them renovating that entire shopping center, and that's one of the tenants that will be going in there. That project comes from, I met with them a year ago, the Jared Development. And in case you're not familiar, Jared Development is the company that we've been working with now for a year to help develop retail in our community. They have the LOI on the current Walmart at 8th and Sunflower, and then an LOI on the potential Shadow Center by Walmart. So they've been actively recruiting and working on those also. So
Did that come from our connections from the retail strategies? Where have it before?
that one's actually from me. Yeah, I met them before we ever contracted with Retail Strategies. I happened to sit next to David at the Midwest Retail Conference in Kansas City, which is part of that, we go to Las Vegas, Dallas, Chicago, and Kansas City. So the Kansas City one was purely for Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and I think Nebraska is in on that one also.
Can you send us an update on how retail strategies are doing? We haven't heard much from them.
Yep. Well, I would clarify, Retail Strategies definitely helped us seal the deal with Dollar Tree. We have been recruiting Dollar Tree actively for 2 years now. And it was their reports that said, here's our actual trade area, and here's really where our population's coming from, and how much money they're spending in Independence and everywhere else. And it was that data that got them to finally sign the lease.
I just want to update. I don't want people thinking it's going to be another repeat of what we had last
Yeah,
time.
no, they were definitely instrumental in this, and they have been working very hard on the next tenant that hopefully will go in that same shopping center. So they've been making sure that those reports are accurate and working directly with that retailer and Jared Development, kind of providing that middleman between developer and the retailer to make sure that all communication is very open and honest. They speak the same language, so that's why we wanted to hire them. So.
Good.
Also, Dollar General will be opening a new facility at 11th and Hall Street. It's the large vacant lot next to, there's a gas station there on the corner at 11th and Buckeye. And then there's this Dylan Odors, State Farm, and Integral Fitness right there. So they'll be opening a brand new Dollar General store. It'll be the largest store that they offer. It's about 10,500 square feet. So it should have a small grocery in it, as well as some selection that you don't get at the current Dollar General store. So I know, Marcus, you've been working very hard trying to get them to expand, so kudos to you also on this one.
Excuse me, I would also say that Retail Strategies has been active in that as well.
They have been.
I don't want to seem like I'm bashing them at all.
Right.
I just want, and just.
Well, it's a valid question. Some of the stuff is not real upfront from them, but
It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
yeah,
and that's fine.
you know,
Yeah.
we get contacted by developers, and a lot of ours is to pass that on to Retail Strategies so that they can, like Tricia said, close the deal, so to speak. They
Exactly.
provide them with the data they need, and especially a place that's going to increase the store that they already have. You know, they have to be very certain. They're not that they're just a new store coming to town.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
just wanting to know.
It's their data that we provide those companies when we have those conversations, and they probably wouldn't look twice at us otherwise, so it's been really
Is there any luck at
critical.
Walmart on Sunflower, or is that still any?
Oh, they've been actively helping with that as well, and they actually found a lead that Jared had not been aware of, and they've been helping them kind of facilitate that conversation.
Okay.
So last thing I heard, they were gonna be doing site visits soon.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. I just wanted to know that.
The next one is Great Wall Buffet. If you've noticed, they've opened back up again. It's next door to Arby's, Arby's and Hog Heaven Barbecue. So if you haven't had a chance, I ate there on Sunday night, and it was very delicious. And the prices are really good too. And so I would definitely encourage everyone to check out our new restaurant in town. Everyone said we need more Chinese options, and now we have 2. So. And then I already mentioned before, Simple Simons, and Studio Blue is also expanding, which we mentioned earlier. The last thing I was going to mention while I'm talking economic development is tomorrow is the Amazon open house for those companies who are interested in bidding on the Amazon building on March 15th. So just an update on that project. And I'll be out there all day long tomorrow, making sure that if any company does come, that we can promote Coffeyville as much as we possibly can. And convince them to buy this building. So.
That must've been why they was moving the boats out of the inside of it this evening.
Do what?
People storing boats inside of it, I guess. There's boats pulling out of there.
Wow, I was not aware of that.
Clean up before parents come home, you know?
Interesting.
Anything else? That it?
No,
I got one, but it'll fit better into the comments than that, so.
Okay.
I actually got a little ahead of myself there, so.
It's all right. So moving on to comments from the public. The public is free to comment on items not listed on the agenda. Please address comments to the commission as a body and be mindful of others who may wish to speak by limiting your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to comments from commissioners and staff. I guess we're right into Justin.
I have two things.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
and what made me remember it is your branding and those pictures you sent us the other day of the possible street signs. So before I was commissioner, probably, it would have been late 13, early 14, I got involved in quite the little email conversation. At one point, somebody wanted to put up some form of a gateway, basically, it's the only thing I can come up with, at the corner of 11th and Patterson. Something that possibly went over the top of the road, or some kind of an entrance way to let you know that there's something up there that you need to go look at. Well, I was downtown a couple weeks ago, checking out some new businesses, and pretty clear there's not a whole lot of foot traffic down there. And I'm not saying that I'm ready to cash checks or anything, but if there's a way we could maybe start that conversation, or to see if there was an interest. You're sitting there at that intersection, and a lot of folks don't know what's down there. Maybe we can help something. I don't know how you fund it, but I'd definitely be interested in having that conversation. I've seen those types of things before in other small towns, you know, there's.
I remember that.
What's there, you know, so they don't know what's even there, just
Well-
a old building with some flags in front of it, there's all kinds of stuff up there.
I think we're at a disadvantage because we're not like Independence where they have main roads go through that you have to
That's my
Get off
point,
the
we need to
beaten path.
say, come
go
on,
off
you
the
know,
beaten
there's something
path.
down here.
Yeah. I'd like to have a kiosk, you know, find signage or whatever. It doesn't have to be a
Well, and
gateway, but
some destination signage, and then that's not really quite the right term for it, is supposed to, you know, will develop out of this branding eventually. But I understand what you're saying.
In my mind, it has bricks and maybe wrought iron or something. I mean, this is Coffeyville, made millions and millions and millions of bricks. There's probably a few of them laying around somewhere. We'd probably come up with some bricks. Anyway.
I'd be happy to have the conversation.
Yeah, I mean-
It would have to be, just my initial thought, it'd have to be pretty tall, because we do allow, you know, that's our other truck route through
It
town.
doesn't
for-
necessarily have to
yeah.
go over the road. It
Sure.
could just kind of come up with maybe some
Sure.
Well,
flags or something, you
Bells
know.
and whistles on it.
Yeah, something that,
Stand out.
something that gets you to come
Yeah.
that way.
You know.
Let people
Sure.
know there's more. There's more than the intersection.
And
Good.
I guess the wayfinding is the correct term that I was looking for, but that is something that we have, began to budget for, some wayfinding signage that, to help direct some of that stuff. And plus the other principal things that we have, you know, the Brown Mansion, the museum, the Air Museum, those types of things, try to, you know, even the hospital and just all those, the stadium, all those types of things, and eventually, you know, that step-by-step approach, but we can entertain ideas about that as well.
I don't want to hurry anybody up too much, but isn't our President Trump speaking about now?
To Congress, I think, yeah, probably. If he isn't, he's probably pretty close. 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Oh, good,
You're not missing it, Jim.
good, good.
What you got, Marcus?
I have two things. Off the subject of stoplights and stuff, is there a reason why we don't have those blinking red everywhere? Just so people can start getting used to that effect? Or it'd be a whole lot easier to navigate through if we didn't have to stop every intersection for 2 or 3 minutes apiece.
I don't know that there's any true reason. It's my understanding that maybe at one time they were all blink, and we've went through the gamut of all blinking to just normal stoplights, those types of things. And I can let you know that we have a count of the signs that we need. We're getting ready to place the orders, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's the sign blades themselves that we're really having to be certain about, so that we get the blocks correct and the streets correct. And so that's kind of where we're at, but tell us to expect 3 to 4 weeks turnaround on an order our size. And then we'll start, as soon as we get those, be able to start installing them systematically east to west through, probably start at Elm and move east to west, because that's the way the wiring goes for the traffic signals. But, you know, to your specific question, I don't know that there's I don't have a reason why they're not
Something we
blinking.
can do, or we get a consensus of what to do, or just want to leave it alone, guys, or what?
I've heard more complaining about the blinking.
Really?
I'm afraid if we go
Yeah.
back, the same people will be back up here saying, why are all the lights blinking?
Yeah. And, you know, they start blinking at what, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and they're flashing until
About
7 or 8 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
something like
pretty close
that.
to that.
What was told to me, it made it look like the town was shut up and dead,
Mhm.
and they were blinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I get why
I
they blink at night too, because
Don't really know.
you don't have
if
to
it
sit at a
matters.
stoplight for a couple minutes when there's obviously no traffic coming, so.
Right.
uh,
So
I mean-
we're under the, just to kind of leave it as is for now. I mean,
If you guys
like I said,
want-
the transition is coming sooner rather than later.
We have, it'll be I mean, once we started it, it's gonna flow. It's gonna take 3 days, 3 weeks. I don't, I
Well,
mean,
it'll be closer to the 3 weeks than the 3 days.
I kinda figured that. I
As-
just didn't know if we had
You know, as,
some form of a timeline once. So if we're a month out from having the poles and signage here,
Yeah,
then,
we're a month
so we're
before.
probably maybe 2 months from having everything complete, maybe.
If crews can be free to do it, you know, consistently, I think it can go rather quick.
Yep.
So I'm saying early summer. I mean, trying to give myself a little bit of cushion there.
Yeah.
But
We can roll out the whole branding and
Yeah.
the downtown lights and everything all at one time.
exactly.
I've talked about some other ideas for some of those grassy patches. I'd like for the city to take those back over so they don't have to be maintained by each and every.
That's
Well,
what I was gonna ask. Who on Ninth Street did the rocks and put I know Green Acres or Rich Geeson did some. I didn't
Yeah.
know if that was something
That was through the downtown.
okay.
Lisa Brookover initiated that. We did, the city, let's say Ninth and Walnut, we removed the trees, but they came in and landscaped it, and the monies were through her
Downtown.
department. You know, there are some other areas that, medical lodges, that landscaping was on their own.
Right.
I think, Commissioner Castler, you were asking, you would like us to take over all of those, and,
Yeah.
and quite honestly, we do, except for, basically 8th Street between Walnut and, is that Maple? In front of, Isley's Jewelry. He takes care of those himself and prefers to. Does a nice job. Some of the issues when we've met is with the chamber and some of the business leaders downtown, some of the issues we have is that it's not a uniform look. That's, some of the things that we struggle with. We struggle with the fact that I require you to maintain your property at your house, but then if you had a business downtown, the city takes over maintenance of that. But, we also planted the trees, so, and then we tell you to take care of them. And so those are some of the struggles that we have with that. Some of it is we've just went in, we've made some decisions and did it. It's like some of the tree removals, there were some issues that we dealt with, and by removing the trees, we took care of those issues.
I'd like to see it more uniform, like I've talked to you about, I have people come to me and say, we need to start thinking about maybe a western theme downtown and put something in there that'll be better than just grass growing.
Yeah. And this all, again, a little bit starts with the branding, and when you start seeing the decorative street signs and that, it's gonna lend itself to more of that period feel. And of course, you've seen the examples that what we're talking about, what they will look like. Then eventually we'll transition over the street lights that are down there, the round double globes will go away. But again, all of that is, comes at a cost, so we can only afford to do a little bit at a time. But we would encourage business owners downtown to, to start the ball rolling among themselves. And we have some active business owners down there who have some good ideas and try to move that forward.
Another thing that I forgot to talk to you about, I had a citizen tell me there was illegal dumping going on Roosevelt Drive, Couch or something. She said she talked to you about it.
Well, I had received a message on Facebook and some pictures, but from the discussion I had with staff, we believe it was actually in the county. We were going to follow up to make certain. It was on River Road, past the water plant, but basically at the bottom of Roosevelt Trail. And, you know, if it's within our, you know, if it's within the city, we were going to clean it up. Otherwise, we're going to pass, you know, let the county know about it. But we do have some issues with dumping. It is cameraed down in that area. You know, we were making contact with the sheriff's department to allow them to, you know, access to our camera footage to see if we could determine who was doing it. And so, you know, that's kind of an ongoing thing. But yes, I did receive a message.
I had someone today ask me, they want to plant a tree in memory of a loved one. I know they do it out at LeClaire. Who do they get a hold of for that?
Jim Bradshaw.
Yeah, I would talk with Jim Bradshaw.
Okay. Lastly, I sent a email to some of the guys about it. This board over here by the Shrine Barn.
It's in the parking lot. That one?
Yeah, the bulletin board. There's one over there.
Okay. Oh, and
Trust me, there is.
in the park area next to the fire department.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
one there.
Cartwright, is it?
It doesn't get a lot of use.
It's over in the parking lot across from the Shrine.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
Yep.
It's
Alright.
kind of on a little island of its own. It doesn't get a lot of use, but I want to use it for something. I want to start something. I haven't named it yet, but it's going to be something like Good Samaritan odd jobs, where if someone has an odd job that they need done and someone is low on cash, that they can post it on that board. I'll put some decoration on there that are not permanent and stuff, just for our community, just to say, hey, someone's having a hard time paying a bill or something, or needs some extra gas money, that they can go on this board and see if there's anything there. I know it's not used a lot, but I could use it for that, and I'm gonna try to couple that with a Facebook page and see if I can get something there. And if I could use it, that'd be great. It won't be anything permanent, but just a step up to help some people in our community.
And, you know, I'll be honest, I didn't know it existed.
Well, I think it was originally designed for when we wouldn't allow people to put their rummage sale signs in their
Yeah,
yard.
they
So it
don't
was
use it
one
for that.
centralized place people could go get their rummage sale,
No one uses it for that.
things like
so.
that. So now I think Facebook gets used for rummage sales primarily now.
There's some things on it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if I could use just one square,
I'll be honest, I don't know what the stipulations are, what governs the usage of it. So if,
It seemed like,
He's fine.
yeah, I think it would
seemed
be
like
open
it-
for anything.
didn't downtown Coffeyville have something to do with that? No?
City did that.
Said he did it?
it's kind of one of those things we thought would be used, but people didn't want to travel just to put the sign.
I don't think anybody knows it's there.
I didn't know it was there.
That's why I thought I'd bring it to light. People don't use it there, people can still go to the Facebook. But people who don't have internet may hear word of it. And I can talk to Salvation Army and tell them, hey, here's a place where if people need money, they can go.
Okay,
So I have permission to,
that's fine.
okay. Thank you, that's all I have.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.